It's Super Bowl Sunday here in Philadelphia. We're in Kobe Bryant's hometown at Finner Pavilion for women's basketball. The Wildcats won the first meeting earlier this season. The Pirates are looking for redemption. It's the Wildcats and Pirates, Seton Hall, Villanova on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. And hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. That's Kim Adams. I'm Nick Montagna. And Kim, there's been a logjam in the middle of the Big East standings so far. DePaul finally got knocked off their first conference loss of the season on Friday night. Harry Paredes in his final season. He's doing a really good job with Villanova. And Tony Bozzella, they picked up a win on Friday against Georgetown. This is a big game because you see right there, the winner of today could put themselves into the top four.
Right, and you see that 6-7 line. That is what the teams want to avoid, that 7 through 10, and avoid having to play on the first day of the Big East tournament. So as you said it, there's gridlock there right now. This is a big game for both teams. It could move them as high up to second at the end of today.
Seton Hall can really score the ball, Kim. Last year, they put up a lot of points. Ditto for this year, whether it's Shadeen Samuels, but the Iona transfer, Alexis Lewis, has been on fire. She can shoot threes. She does a little bit of everything for Tony Bozzella.
Right, Coach Bozzella loves his transfers. Alexis Lewis, look at those last 4 games there, 18 points per game. She's also really rebounding the ball well from the wing spot, and 14 made threes. She is their biggest threat from behind the arc, so she's going to have to be a target for Villanova on their defense. And how about Maddie Segrist? She could be the freshman of the year. She might even be the Big East player of the year, leading the Big East in scoring with 20 points per game. Second in the conference in rebounding with just under 9. Her numbers have been tremendous, and she's been consistent, and she could score from anywhere on the floor. She could really light it up from 3 as well. As you see there, 9 threes in her last 3 games.
Maddie Segrist has 11 20-point games to lead the conference, while Alexis Lewis is nearing 1,500 points for her collegiate career. It's Seton Hall and Villanova coming up next on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go no.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Seton Hall with 13 wins on the year. They've won 3 out of their last 4, and Tony Bozzella's lineup, Kim, looks like this today.
Yeah, you see Shadeen Samuels, the preseason Big East player of the year. Her numbers haven't been as high this year, but it's partly because they're getting scoring from a bunch of different people, all 5 starters averaging in double figures.
Desiree Elmore has to be big today. That's what Tony Bozzella told us before the game. For Harry Paredes, Maddie Segrist, and Mary Gadeka account for over 60% of their scoring.
Those two, just the dynamic duo. Maddie averaging 20 points per game, Mary averaging 17. But where they've gotten wins is because they've had some other scorers step up, some 3rd and 4th scorers. So that's going to be key for them today, finding scoring outside of Segrist and Gadeka.
There's Tony Bozell in his 7th year. He's averaging 19 wins per season, the best of any Seton Hall coach in their program's history. We're underway. The officials today are Kathy Lynch, Michael DeCudo, and John Capolino. Villanova was down in the first meeting earlier this year at Walsh Gymnasium, but they had a monster fourth quarter comeback thanks to Mary Gadeka driving it down the middle. And Tony Bozell told us before the game we need to limit the big duo for Villanova, who normally doesn't turn the ball over. They've had their issues, better as of late, but they give it away here.
And Seton Hall is going to need to come out aggressive on the defensive end. When they're getting in passing lanes, creating turnovers, that's when they're at their best, and they've been a little up and down at times with their energy levels this season. So getting off to a high energy start on the defensive end is key for them.
There's Barbara Johnson right to the rack, can't convert, as Villanova won in overtime on Friday night against St. John's, their second overtime victory against the Red Storm this year, while Seton Hall had the comeback win at Georgetown on Friday night. They dump it down low as they look for Desiree Elmore. Started at Syracuse, goes lefty, off the window and good.
And that'll make Tony Bozzella happy. As you said, he needs Desiree to be aggressive down low. They want to get the ball inside to her and Shadeen and really make Siegrist work defensively.
13.5 points per game this year for Desiree Elmore. There's a miss for Maddie Siegrist, and Alexis Lewis gets the rebound. Lauren Park Lane, the diminutive freshman point guard, has been very impressive this season. Plus, they'll bring Maya Jackson, the sharpshooter, off the bench, as no good from the wing for Desiree Elmore, and Cam Monken has the rebound. Villanova has played zone a lot this season. They did in the win against St. John's, and Seton Hall has faced a lot of zone because the Pirates have had some shooting issues from beyond the arc, even though they're making and taking more threes, and expect a lot of man-to-man for Seton Hall's defense against Villanova's motion offense, Kim.
Good start for Seton Hall, another turnover force, and I like how they're very aggressive right now on the perimeter. They have high hands, they're communicating, they're sticking close to Siegrist, who Tony Bozzella said they can't let her get hot from three especially.
And Coach Bozzella told us we don't want to give up open threes against Villanova. Typically that's their strength, even though Villanova is playing more of an inside game this year thanks to their two forwards in Gadeka and Siegrist. A 3-second violation.
Desiree Elmore just needs to be a little bit more aware there. She was setting up a tent. She was camped out in the paint. Have to get in and out, 2 feet out, and then can re-enter.
Over 70 points per game this year for Seton Hall's offense. Villanova wants to keep this game low scoring. Seton Hall would prefer to go up and down. That's the way they played it for years under Coach Bozzella. Final season for Harry Peretta, 42nd year. There's Mary Gadeka inside.
Mary Gadeka, just such a strong frame, strong ability to finish. That one was quite easy going up for her against Desiree Elmore.
A nice answer by Shadeen Samuels, over 13 points per game. A little bit banged up this year. She missed 4 games, came back for that UConn game. They played very well against the Huskies early in the year.
They did. That was an impressive one, and I think kind of woke them up to say, hey, we can really play with anyone. And UConn was without their starting point guard in that one, but it was a really impressive effort and performance against one of the nation's top teams.
Yeah, Maya Jackson shot the ball really well in there. It's the play for K game, and Villanova and Seton Hall wearing pink swag down low. Little pick and roll action. Bridget Herlihy and the foul.
Bridget Herlihy, we talked about Villanova really needing that third and fourth score. She's the biggest of them all. If she can get 10 points a game, 8 points per game, she's one of their top rebounders. So Coach Peretta has to love seeing her get aggressive. 2 baskets for Nova so far have just been aggressive drives to the rim.
11 points for Bridget Herlihy in the win at Seton Hall. Hit 3 of 6 from downtown in that comeback win at Walsh Gymnasium. Hence what Kim saying, supporting cast is everything. How quickly will Villanova go to the zone against Seton Hall? That drops for Barbara Johnson.
Tony Bozzella speaks very highly of Barbara Johnson, one of their transfers, first year playing with the program. But she's really shown an ability, especially in conference play, to take control of the offense, and she's one of their leading scorers as well.
And Barbara Johnson started at a junior college, then went to Ole Miss, and now finishing up at Seton Hall. Very athletic player. Down low, Bridget Herlihy fumbles it, and Seton Hall trying to run, although Villanova does get back very well. Pull up is good for Desiree Elmore.
That's why you have to protect the ball against this Seton Hall team. That's now 3 turnovers for Villanova, and Seton Hall loves to get out and run, so you have to protect the ball on your end.
Second bucket for Desiree Elmore. She has 4. Bridget Hurley zips it inside for Mary Gadeka, who draws the foul.
Right now, Seton Hall, defensively, they're allowing cutters to cut with ease through the paint. When you're defending Villanova, that's what they love to do. They're constantly moving, they're constantly cutting. So they have to be in position to bump those cutters. You don't want to get called for fouls, of course, but right now it's just too easy for the Villanova players to cut through the lane for open layups.
Mary Gadeka averaging over 17 points per game. Free throws have been an issue for the Wildcats. She does make both there, 66% at the stripe. Villanova just 67% as a team shooting free throws. They've been hot and cold this year. It's 8-7 Seton Hall. Lauren Park Lane went to the bench. Coach Bozella says she's battling a little bit of a cold flu bug, so she'll come in and out off the bench today. No good there for the Pirates as Villanova has it back. And we see the youngster McKenna Hofschild, the freshman out of Minnesota, entering the game for the Pirates. Down low, Maddie Segrist, left hand, good. And we have a call on the inbound play. It looks like a traveling call on McKenna Hofschild. And here's another look, Kim, nicely done.
And you see, again, we just talked about it, open cutters. Nobody on Segrist, no defensive communication. Not sure how she got so wide open.
Mary Gadeka goes inside, and Villanova tearing up the paint early on.
Yeah, they're being really aggressive off the bounce. Everyone's getting into the lane, attacking off the dribble, and so far Seton Hall hasn't been able to contain them. They're doing a good job of guarding them on the perimeter.
There's a long 2 for Desiree Elmore. Coach Bozella told us before the game, Kim, she needs to get off to a hot start, and she's doing just that today.
Yeah, she's been a little bit up and down. I saw her against St. John's last week. She didn't have a great game, but I think the team really feeds off of her offensive energy when she gets going. You could tell the team is uplifted, so that's a great start for her this afternoon.
Mary Gadeka runs into traffic, and it is a foul. And we go to the break. As we'll be right back. Villanova leads it 11-10 here in the early going. The Pirates and the Wildcats from Finneran Pavilion.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Will D-Cat, the mascot, high-fiving people here on Super Bowl Sunday as we welcome you back. 8 points in the paint early on for Villanova, and the great duo of Mary Gadeka and Maddie Segrist carrying Villanova all season long. Kim, as we said, over 60% of their scoring, and 4 times this year each have had 20 points in the same ball game together. Quite impressive.
Yeah, what I think is most impressive about both of them is the consistency they've shown. They really don't have off games. It seems every night both of them are getting close to 20 points, and we've seen both of them get off to an aggressive start here today. Mary Gadeka, 2 of 2 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. So the senior really starting to capitalize on her last few games here and making the most of those moments.
So dynamic duo. Do you go Batman Robin, Batman Superman? Which one do you think?
I'm going Mary and Maddie.
I like that.
I think that's the duo to go with right there.
The M&M girls.
Yes, Team M&M.
11-10 Villanova in the early going. Not a lot of three-point shooting. These teams are 2 of the tops in the country in terms of taking and making plenty of threes. Seton Hall switching up their offense last year to emulate what DePaul does essentially. A lot of ball sharing and shooting threes. No good inside for the Pirates.
Well, so far I think both teams are defending the perimeter well. You can tell that is a focus for both teams, but Villanova has really been able to get inside the paint, especially off of cuts and dribble drive.
Shadeen Samuels came up empty on that last trip and very aggressive, as Kim's saying. They're sticking out their defense, overextending a bit to limit the three-point shots, hence the inside game and the adjustment by Harry Peretta. Raven James hoists a 3, and Barbara Johnson knocked the rebound over to Mary Gadeka.
And that last possession by Villanova, that was really the first time they didn't get inside the lane. There it is that time.
Maddie Segrist, no good there. They reset the shot clock to 20 on that second possession as Robert Johnson didn't have it. Easy layup down low, Shadeen Samuels.
You can't lose her. That was just too easy that time. A little cut off of a bump screen. You have to communicate because she could get going early. As we mentioned, her numbers aren't quite as high this season, but she can go out and get 30 on a given day.
Cheryl Miller watch list for the top small forward, and Myers Drysdale watch list for player of the year, senior class nominee, Big East preseason player of the year. Quite the resume and accolades for Shadeen Samuels. Only 5 left to shoot. Mary Gadeka facing a double team. It gets knocked away. An excellent block by Alexia Olesh, the UMass transfer.
And she's brought size to this team. She's really stepped up in the last few weeks, and you could see the impact she has defensively with her size.
There's Barbara Johnson, little shake and bake, but off the mark. Seton Hall trying to get plenty of bounce scoring themselves. Some games they have it. Mary Gadeka fires and knocks down a big 3.
And Seton Hall, that's the shot they would prefer her to take rather than driving, but Mary Gadeka showing a nice ability to knock it down from long range.
9 points for the senior from New Jersey. She's 3 of 4 from the field, and her three-point shooting is much better as a senior. There's Alexis Lewis off the bounce. Only 8 left to shoot. It's McKenna Hofschild, the rookie, down low. There's an and-one for Alexia Olesh.
That she is really starting to become confident. She didn't play much early in the season. We look at this nice drive, but she's really been able to impact this Seton Hall team on both ends, defensively, and now with her increased confidence offensively, she can knock down the 3 as well, so she can really cause some mismatches, having to pull the Villanova forwards out to the perimeter.
First personal foul on Cam Onken. As a team, Seton Hall 72% at the line. A little bit better than last year. They did have some standouts, the kids that graduated. No good for Olesh, who's just 2 of 5 at the stripe this season. There's Sam Karanji, who enters, and Brooke Mullen is into the game. And Maya Jackson, the big-time freshman guard out of Ohio, is into the game, number 5. Watch out for her. They'll go down into the post for Bridget Herlihy. Her game is improved. The kick out to Brooke Mullen.
What a beautiful setup by Herlihy, getting down into the paint, drawing the double team, and then just a rocket of a pass. That was a crisp pass, got there in time so that the defense didn't have time to close out.
17th three of the year for Brooke Mullen, the freshman from the Philadelphia area. Alexis Lewis out of the Scranton area in Wilkes-Barre, no good on a three. Not a lot of attempts early on for Alexis Lewis, who's been on fire, as we talked about in the open. 18 points per game over the last four, 52% shooting in that stretch. Maddie Segrist can't connect on a three. In the fast-paced Seton Hall offense, Alexis Lewis, no good there on a three. Seton Hall 0 of 2 came from downtown. But both teams are trying to get it inside. That's been the key emphasis early on.
Right, both teams have looked good offensively to start, and they're not settling for threes.
There's Maddie Segrist, a top-notch three-point shooter who's done very well this year, 41% from beyond the arc.
And Tony Bozzella here telling them settle for one shot, about a 3-second differential, game clock and shot clock.
Maddie Segrist just 1 of 5 from the field for the Big East leading scorer, averaging over 20 points per game and 0 for 3 from three-point land. That has to make Tony Bozzella happy. He told us before the game we need to limit the threes for Maddie Segrist. There's Alexis Lewis, who cans it with a second to go, which will end the first quarter. And Seton Hall gets a big bucket there, and Villanova has a 1-point lead, 17-16 at the end of the first quarter. 6 points for Desiree Elmore and 9 points for Mary Gadeka. As a big bucket down low, balanced offense for both teams, and Brooke Mullen a big three for the Wildcats, who lead it by 1 here at the Finn.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
All right, we've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah! That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Start of the second quarter. Remember, fans, the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep returns to Wintrust Arena in downtown Chicago, March 6th to the 9th. All session tickets for the 2020 conference tournament are now on sale, starting at just $50. For tickets, visit bigeast.com/WBB tickets. Always a great event, Kim.
Always excited to get back to Chi-Town. Always pray the weather is okay there.
A little bit of snow can't hurt too many people. Here's a look at the box score for when these teams met earlier this season. Lots of zone defense by Villanova, and the Pirates struggled shooting, just 5 of 27 from three-point range. What stood out for me, Kim, not just the stars, the supporting cast. Maya Jackson, Alexis Lewis struggled in that game. Bridget Herlihy and Sam Karanji had big games for Villanova.
And for Seton Hall, that's a big part of their success because they have a lot of weapons who could score, and we're even seeing some emerging scores in Alexia Alish, but they just have a ton of people who can hurt you. Shadeen Samuels, a big part of that.
Villanova has had depth issue, an injury to Brianna Herlihy, the sister of Bridget, plus kids graduated like Adriana Hahn and Jana Tucker. So Harry Peretta has put a walk-on into the game. He's had to do that this year. Grace Lang, who quickly checks out. but that's the depth issue. And Harry Peretta has talked about it. It's not easy. That's why Brooke Mullen is playing. Not as many of the familiar faces. I mean, look at the names. Kelly Jaycott, Janet Tucker, Selena Faloxi, Kayla Hilaire, Emily Esposito, Grace Stant, Nicole Jimenez. Lots of familiar faces in this rivalry gone. Graduated, transfers, left the program, what have you. It's hit the reset button, and frankly, Kim, it's all of women's basketball. You watch games, everybody has new players, it seems, this year.
Yeah, and it's kind of that next man up mentality. A lot of freshmen playing significant roles, a lot of underclassmen having to step in for injuries at any time. You always have to be ready to go.
It seems like all the big stars in men's and women's basketball left. There's a big three. Sam Karanji knocks it down. The third triple of the game for Villanova, while the Pirates are 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. And as we just mentioned, Karanji had a nice game in the win at Seton Hall earlier this year, and the Pirates throw it away.
And she had a nice game in that overtime win versus St. John's as well. In that game, they had some secondary scoring step up. Karanji had 8, Raven James 7, Cameron Onken 9. She doesn't score the ball much, so the ability to get those 3 names outside of Team M&M, as we called them earlier, were able to pull off that big-time win over a St. John's team who has looked really good at times.
Maris and Mantle, Mary and Maddie. Not so bad with either duo. Raven James and Lauren Park Lane, 2 diminutive guards matched up with one another. Into the game is Jasmine Smith, the junior out of Houston, Texas, who came from New Mexico and then Trinity Valley Community College down there in the Lone Star State. And 10 left to shoot for Villanova's offense. Here's Mary Gadeka. Alexia Alesh will guard her. There's a quick double team. And it looks like a little bit of a zone for Seton Hall. And a shot clock violation, Kim.
And that's now 6 turnovers for Villanova. They're shooting the ball well, but turnovers are what's killing them right now. And they're a team that traditionally does not turn the ball over well. They've led the nation in recent years, usually average less than 10 per game.
There's Alexis Lewis. Good look at a 3, but off the side of the rim. You're right, Kim. Villanova has led the country in fewest turnovers per game, 6 out of the last 11 years. So not quite as sharp as other seasons. Here's Sam Karanji. There's the skip pass to Mary Gadeka. Good rotation by Seton Hall. Inside, Mary Gadeka, and the foul. More inside cutting by Villanova, Kim.
And Nick, I was literally just going to say Seton Hall is now doing a better job of finding those cutters and prohibiting them from moving through the lane, but Villanova will catch you at the end of the shot clock. 11 seconds left. At that point, you can't play good defense against Villanova for 20 seconds and then stand up and relax. They will keep cutting and keep moving.
And Mary Gadeka, a 3-point play, and Villanova has a 23-18 lead as a 6-0 run for the Wildcats here in the second quarter. A foul away from the ball. It will be called on Mary Gadeka. Her first personal.
Even the refs have the pink whistles.
I did not notice
for the
that.
pink game. That's a nice touch.
I didn't know you could find those anywhere. Bridget Herlihy replaces Sam Karanji. Lauren Park Lane, as we said, dealing with a little bit of a flu cold bug. So Tony Bozzella said her minutes might be limited. There's Alexis Lewis. Boy, they need her. That's her second bucket. She has 4.
And I like how Alexis Lewis isn't settling for 3. She's reading the defense. She's curling off of some screens. And so far, that mid-range jumper has been there for her.
Bridget Herlihy had it knocked away, able to regather. Alexis Lewis is really close to 1,500 points in her career, as we said in the open. She's right near that plateau. Maddie Segrist, a turnaround. What a move.
And how about that matchup? That was pretty good defense from Shadid Samuels, but Segrist just had that wingspan, a couple inches on Shadid Samuels, able to lift it up and over.
4 points on 2 of 6 shooting. Don't try that one at home, kids. As Maddie Segrist, also a top-notch rebounder as well. She's second in the Big East in boards, as well as leading the conference in scoring. There's Mary Gadeka. She lines up a 3. Swish for the senior.
Seton Hall has to get out on her further. She likes to drive. That is why she's a tough matchup, because she could take you off the dribble. You don't want to be too high on her, but she's shown the ability to knock down 2 threes today, 2 deep ones.
Tough play there. Lauren Park Lane able to knock it down, and Tony Bozella calls a timeout. Villanova is 4 of 8 3-point shooting. They've been on fire as of late, 42% from downtown over their last 5. They've been shooting much better. Nice answer for Lauren Park Lane to get the Pirates within 6.
You're watching Seton Hall basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, we got to raise it
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Welcome back to Fittern Pavilion, where the Wildcats have got off to a scorching start offensively, 63% shooting, much in part to Mary Gadeka, who typically is a driver, but today she's reading that defense. They've given her the looks, and she's knocked down 2 of 2 from deep so far, Nick.
12 points for Mary Gadeka, which means she's in double-figure scoring for the 20th time this year and the 74th time in her terrific career, as Mary Gadeka recently became the 11th player in program history to hit 1,300 points. Quite the plateau. She's 15 shy of the top 10 entering today. She's had a fantastic career, frankly.
And we mentioned the word consistency earlier for both her and Maddie Segrist, but she's not just this season. She has always been consistent, regardless of what her role is, really stepping into a much bigger role as a junior last year, but you don't see her take plays off. Even if she has an off shooting night, she's doing something else on the floor. Just the model of consistency has really set a standard for players to come at Villanova.
Villanova has won 7 in a row over Seton Hall. Not only that, Villanova has also won 13 of the last 17 and 8 of the last 9 in this series. And the Pirates haven't won at Villanova since 2014-2015. That's 4 straight losses here in Philly for the Pirates.
Now you see the Pirates putting on some full court pressure. I was going to say they have to get back to their game, causing more turnovers, getting out and running, rebounding and running, and now we see some full court pressure from the Pirates.
Villanova knows how to break it. Watch out for that spot. Very dangerous on the trap. Maddie Segrist misses on a 3, follows her own miss and puts it in.
And Villanova steals it right back. Raven James.
And a Villanova timeout. As a nice takeaway, Raven James, quite the defender, a little thievery there. She did a good job defending in the win in overtime against St. John's on Friday night. So just a smart team. That's what Harry Peretta has done throughout his great career, Kim. He teaches his players what to do in every situation.
Yeah, and you see Maddie Segrist here. This can't happen if you're Seton Hall. Shadeen Samuels just let her waltz to the basket, and then Seton Hall turned it over right after this. Raven James just telegraphing that pass for Shadeen Samuels. You have to be smarter, and the Seton Hall coaching staff not happy with those 2 mental mistakes. Quick timeout.
There's Harry Peretta in his 42nd year, 777 wins, which is 7th on the Division I women's active list. Into Raven James as Villanova leads it by 8 with over 5 minutes to play. Kim Adams, Nick Montaigne, our great crew here on the Big East Digital Network. 2nd year of this brand new arena here in the Philly area in Fittern Pavilion. There's Raven James off the bounce. 9 left to shoot for Villanova. They're looking for Bridget Herlihy down low, who muscles up, can't put it in. Pretty good defense down low by Seton Hall that time as the Pirates go back into their offense. And Villanova hasn't played a lot of zones so far, Kim.
Yeah, so far they've been man-to-man, and they've been doing pretty well in their matchups. Elmore got off to a hot start, but she's cooled down a bit. And there you have it, just like on the other end with Segrist, Shadeen Samuels on the offensive glass.
8 points for Shadeen Samuels. It's tough to box her out. She's as dangerous a player as anybody in the conference with her skill set.
And she's got up. She can really get up there. She's got some long arms, snag those rebounds. You have to locate position on her and push her out.
She makes it look real easy sometimes. Here's a bit of a zone look for Seton Hall. Spin move, Bridget Herlihy off the mark there. Tried to knock it out of bounds. And Seton Hall will get the basketball.
Bridget Herlihy, last 2 possessions, has done a good job of getting position down low, but just needs to be a little bit more controlled and collected as she's going up to finish.
The Pirates shooting the ball well, frankly, 52%, but Villanova's shooting 55%. It's been all offense today, Kim.
Yeah, both of these teams are looking sharp, and Villanova's done a much better job of protecting the ball. They had some early turnovers, but now they've really settled into their offense.
That's Alexis Lewis trying to follow her mess, and Maddie Segrist collects her 4th rebound.
You see why she's the 2nd leading rebounder in the conference. She goes after that ball. She soared in that time from near the free throw line to snag that rebound.
More zone defense from Seton Hall. They're quick and athletic, so it can work against a 3-point shooting team like Villanova. Under 10 to shoot, Mary Gadeka. There's Cam Monken. She's been quite the rebounder, nearly 7 rebounds per game this season.
Seton Hall is one of the top rebounding teams in the conference, and right now they're just getting outworked on the boards.
Mary Gadeka misses there off the ricochet. Alexis Lewis rims out on her.
That was a good look. That's one of the best spots to shoot a 3 for shooters, that pitch back off of that secondary transition. Nice rhythm, just didn't get it to fall.
0 for 4 from beyond the arc for Alexis Lewis, as Seton Hall hasn't hit a 3 yet. 0 for 4. Villanova way off the mark with Raven James. Here's Lauren Park Lane, quick and fast out of Delaware, high off the glass. She draws the foul. Quite the player, athletic, fast. Tony Bozella has raved about her. Look at her go.
Yeah, that time just saw an opening across that lane. Good job of squaring up to draw that contact. But she's got some motor.
Very quick player. The freshman out of Wilmington, Delaware. And she'll go to the line, 69%. Average is just under 6 points per game, but most importantly, nearly 4 assists per game for the young point guard. No good on the first one.
Yeah, I think she's almost been flying under the radar a little bit, partly because Maddie Segrist has been incredible. But Lauren Park Lane has done a really nice job of running the offense, which isn't easy for a freshman. Typically, turnovers are a big problem for freshman guards, but she's done a nice job of taking pretty good care of the ball and running this offense for the Pirates.
5th in the conference for Lauren Park Lane in assist to turnover ratio, so I would agree totally, Kim. The numbers say so, and she's done a really good job this season taking care of the ball. Mary Gadeka muscles up and squares away and puts it in. Big bucket there, bullseye for Mary Gadeka.
And she doesn't let up, Nick. We have seen her just 100% effort every second she's out on the floor, and when she puts that ball on the floor and attack, she is so strong, and unless you have a couple inches on her, it's very tough to defend her because she really gets good position with her body and a tremendous ability to finish around the rim.
Had 20 points in the win this season at Seton Hall. Misses the free throw. That's Villanova's first miss from the stripe. They're 4 of 5, while Seton Hall is over 3 at the line. Maya Jackson crashing in, and she'll shoot a couple of foul shots.
And the Seton Hall guards, that was very similar to Lauren Park Lane's drive, catching that ball on the opposite elbow and finding an opening across the lane. Villanova has to send somebody in to help earlier.
Kim, we're seeing men's and women's teams across the country take and make more threes. That's how the game has evolved, frankly. So if you don't do it, you'll get left behind. But we talked with Tony Bozzella about this before the game. Not enough teams are getting to the line anymore, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there has to be a balance because there's nights like tonight for Seton Hall, who's 0 of 4 from 3. At times when it's not dropping, you need to be more aggressive and find other ways to score. Getting to the free throw line is a great way to do that.
Maya Jackson, 71% from the stripe, but she misses a pair. Almost a steal for the Pirates. Maddie Segrist. And Desiree Elmore has the rebound.
Pirates have gotten lucky. Maddie Segrist has had a couple of uncontested threes. They're not rotating out on her fast enough, but she hasn't knocked them down today.
Wow, Desiree Elmore, what a spin move. A 5-star recruit out of high school, went through an injury in her Syracuse days, has found a nice home at Seton Hall.
Yeah, she can score in so many ways. I think that's what she's best, off the dribble. Mary Gadeka, yet again. How many N1s has she had?
The individual plays we've seen by both teams today. We have quite the players on the court this afternoon.
Yeah, it is the Mary Gadeka show right now. That's her 17th point. Still pretty early into this game.
6 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 at the line. Highlight level shots first by Desiree Elmore, and Mary Gadeka off balance and then some. Harry Peretta must like that as Villanova extends it to a 35-26 lead. Under 2 minutes left in the first half. An offensive foul on Seton Hall.
It looks like they were going to call that on Samuels. A little bit of a moving screen perhaps in the middle of the lane there.
Janine Samuels corrects as the officials giving it back to Villanova. That's 5 turnovers for Seton Hall and 6 for Villanova. There's Kenzie Gardler finding Brooke Mullen. More zone from Seton Hall. Barbara Johnson trying to stay with Bridget Herlihy. There's the rotation, the kick. Maddie Segrist has not found her three-point game today. She's 0 for 6 from downtown.
Janine Samuels has to be careful. She has 2 fouls now. They're getting pretty tied up down there. And we'll see if this one was on Segrist. Desiree Elmore also has 2. She's on the bench for Seton Hall.
So Seton Hall trying to get to the line at least because some of the three-point shots, frankly, none of them have fallen yet, 0 for 4. But they haven't hit a free throw yet either, but they have to try something. Overall, still good shooting, 50%. They've been able to get into the paint off the bounce. And I guess they're a little thankful that Villanova hasn't gone to a zone, but perhaps.
Right. What I like about them, even though they haven't hit a 3, they're not taking too many right now. Just 4 attempts. They're finding other ways to score, and I think as their offense gets flowing and they find some more in-rhythm threes, they've had some good looks. Alexis Lewis has had a couple in and out.
Samuel, 74% at the line. She misses the first and makes the second. It's 35-27 Villanova as the Pirates finally hit a free throw, 1 of 7. Just over a minute left in the first half. Sam Karanji guarded by Barbara Johnson. As we see Maya Jackson, the freshman, deal with Kenzie Gardler. Now Alexia Alesh has Bridget Herlihy. Only 7 left to shoot. Brooke Mullen able to weave past Alexis Lewis, and the rebound over to Alexia Alesh. There's Barbara Johnson. Quick double team. Good help by Sam Karanji.
A lot of contact down low there between Ockett and Samuels. Samuels working for position. Ref's got to keep an eye on that.
As Barbara Johnson goes to the rack, and she gets fouled. As we get another look there, Sam Karanji might have just gotten a piece of her.
That was pretty acrobatic there from Barbara Johnson.
Coach Bozzella told us that we need a little bit more production out of the Toronto kid, the senior Barbara Johnson, averaging just under 10 points per game. 81% at the line, but nobody's hit their foul shots just yet. There's a good start for Barbara Johnson.
Yeah, Barbara Johnson has had some big offensive outbursts throughout the season. I'd like to see her be a little bit more aggressive in looking for her own shot, especially when some of her other teammates' shots aren't falling like we've seen. Alexis Lewis hasn't hit from 3 yet today. I'd like to see Barbara Johnson get a little bit more aggressive.
Couple of free throws there. That's 4 points for Barbara Johnson, who had that big three-pointer with 29 seconds left, a part of her 18-point performance to beat Butler on opening weekend in conference play. The Hall trailed by 15 in that game, put together a 13-2 run late, capped off by the heroics by Barbara Johnson with under a minute left. Under a minute left here in the first half. Bridget Herlihy right down the lane off the glass with the left hand.
I love that jump stop there. Not enough players use the jump stop. She was collected and that time was able to finish, unlike her previous attempts earlier in the half.
And Jasmine Smith walks with it, as that's the 7th giveaway for Seton Hall. A 37-29 lead for Villanova, and Bridget Herlihy has 5 points, as her scoring has really picked up. 48% shooting from three-point range over the last 5. Only 4 seconds left. Raven James hounded by Maya Jackson, and it's no good. That brings us to the end of the first half. Our score is Villanova 37 and Seton Hall 29. What really stood out for you, Kim, in the first half?
Well, I think Villanova has looked really good offensively. They've gotten a nice mix of some threes, and then everyone's really been aggressive, as you see in those highlights, attacking the rim. Herlihy, Gadeka, and Segrist.
You could say Mary Gadeka has been the storyline. She has 20 points, a game high on 7 of 10 shooting. Villanova is on top at the break.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was gonna spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Villanova has the advantage here on Super Bowl Sunday. Fans, as the calendar turns to February, Big East teams across the conference will hold annual Pink Games to raise awareness for breast cancer and fund critical research. The Creighton men's basketball program kicked off the season of Pink Games in Omaha last weekend, holding an event that has become an Omaha tradition and a sight to behold.
It's our 10th year doing the Creighton vs. Cancer Pink Out.
when we come together on a cause. Creighton has shown and the city has shown that they'll really rally around it, and each year it's kind of taken on its own form and manifested itself into what it is today, and we're lucky to have the event. I think everyone has a unique first experience when they either come through the concourse or step out of the tunnel the first time you see it. It's really overwhelming. For me, it's probably our stand-up for presentation we do. The arena goes dead silent, and I don't think there's anybody that isn't impacted, and that's probably the moment that resonates with most.
Everybody's either is celebrating a life in some respect today, whether it's someone that they've lost to this awful disease, someone that's beat it, or someone that's currently going through it. You're honoring someone. In my wildest dreams, I would have never guessed that the community and the media and everybody would have jumped on board with this like they have. When I'm done here someday, it'll be one of the proudest things I think that we've left behind.
Big cities, big names, big legacies, big sisters and brothers, big ideas, big expectations, big stage, big results. That's the Big East way.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together! This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Shadeen Samuels has 9 points to lead the Pirates, while Mary Gadeka has 20 points to pace the Wildcats. Fans, let's take a look at our honorees for this week, the Big East Player of the Week. is Lexi Held. She is doing quite well. 21 points against Villanova, 19 points against Georgetown, shot 44% from three-point land, and she's become one of the better pure shooters. How about Carly Batchelor, Kim, the Big East Rookie of the Week? She had a career-high 17 points in the win over Xavier.
Yeah, that's probably the first time they've had to edit that graphic. It's usually Maddie Segrist cleaning up week after week, but Carly Batchelor really emerging as a scorer for that team, somebody they consistently rely on, and what a big-time win. That was a 20-point halftime deficit to come back on the road and beat DePaul the other day.
8-time Big East Freshman of the Week for Maddie Segrist, in case you missed that one. How about Kristen Spoliar? 8 20-point games. She had 30 at one point this year against Marquette, 25 points at Creighton. Temi Sarda is one of the best overall players in the conference. Isabella Spingola doing very well. She had 24 against Georgetown last week. Erlette Scott finally gave Providence their first Big East win, 20 points against Xavier, and Quadaja Hoppe is such a star player.
Right, she had an off night against Villanova in that overtime loss, but really other than that, she's just been one of the consistently best shooters in the conference. And you mentioned Spoliar. It's getting to that time where the seniors are starting to realize, you know, this is it. So we're seeing them take their games to new levels around this time of year.
Unfortunately, Seton Hall couldn't stop St. John's, who shot 62% in that win last Sunday. Kim, you were on the call with that game against the Pirates, where the Red Storm couldn't miss, frankly, and Quadaja Hoppe had the big game. What's the most intriguing part of the standings for you, Kim? For me, it's Marquette and Butler. They've had great seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Marquette lost a ton, as much as anybody in the country. 5 1,000-point scores, and the job that first-year head coach Megan Duffy has done is apparent. She's clearly got them playing hard. Selena Lott has kind of really taken over that role of primary scorers, and the Butler Bulldogs as well. I've seen Kristen Spoliar. There was one game where she had about 24 of the team's first 25 points or something insane like that. So those are teams that really have a go-to scorer but are starting to develop defensive identities and secondary scores as well.
Creighton won at DePaul on Friday night, even without Jalen Agnew, who's still missing in action, and Butler's had a great season. So lots of standout players in the Big East, and Friday night was very impressive, Kim, as there were quite the performances in that action. 6 20-point performances on Friday night by Big East players. So something to watch for. And guess what? Mary Gadeka has 20 points today. And Villanova has the lead. Second half action coming up next on the Big East Digital Network.
You're watching Seton Hall basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Just about set for the start of the second half. We get a look at the first half highlights. Desiree Elmore off to a good start today. She has 8 points, and a lot of Mary Gadeka with 20 points today.
Yeah, then it became the Mary Gadeka takeover. 20 points, but Seton Hall, Alexia Olish getting some scoring. Gadeka has been able to score it a couple different ways, off of cuts, off of threes. She knocked down 2 threes in that first half, but she's been non-stop motor. That time finding a gap in the backside of that defense. She's been unbelievable. A couple and ones that she's been able to convert, and she's been the story of the first half.
The first half stats tell you Villanova has made some threes. Seton Hall has not taken many. They're still looking for their first triple.
Yeah, I'd like to see them work it inside to Samuels a bit more and then look for some kickouts for threes. I think we'll see them probably heat up a little bit. Alexis Lewis had a couple good looks, just went in and out, but they have to continue getting that balance, working inside, as Coach Bozzella said, was a big focus for them, and that should lead to some more movement and open threes.
This is key, especially if it's a close game. Can Seton Hall kind of break through a little bit? Since 2014, 5 of the meetings in this series have been decided by 5 points or less. And 3 wins for Nova, 2 for Seton Hall in that span. And last year, 15 wins for the Pirates. They went to the women's NIT like Villanova, but last year, Kim, in Big East play, they struggled down the stretch, just 2-9 to end the year, and just a 1-5 record against the conference in games decided by 5 or less, including 2 losses to Villanova in close fashion last year. How does Seton Hall finally win a close one?
Well, I think they have to stay consistent. You talk about that, the losing streak to end the season. This year they've been a little bit up and down. They've looked phenomenal at times, and then they have a game against St. John's where they have a slow start. So I think for them, they need to be putting forth a full 40-minute effort. You can't take off the half of a quarter or 4 possessions. I think for them, they have to lock in for a full 40 minutes, and when things aren't going as well as they would like, they have to keep their energy high and keep lifting each other up.
A couple of weekends ago, they looked outstanding. They blew Creighton's doors off 82-70, had a 32-14 first quarter, and then against Providence had a Big East high 14-3. So they can look really good. Other times, Kim, I think you're right. It's the inconsistencies. That's what Coach Bozzella has said. We need to find a groove. Villanova has the ball with our great crew. Kim Adams, I'm Nick Montaigne. Thanks for joining us. Super Bowl Sunday, we're into February. Good rotation by Seton Hall. Bridget Hurley, he misses.
And I am ready for that Super Bowl food in a couple of hours, Nick, as we were just talking, getting a little hungry here at the half.
There's Barbara Johnson looking for a bucket as she'll go back to the line. 4 points. She's made a couple of free throws, and clearly that'll be the emphasis as the Pirates okay last year in free throws. Frankly, a little bit better this year. Are you looking for wings, Kim, tonight? Chili? What's your speed?
I like wings. Now that I'm back in Philly, I just recently moved back to Philly. Something I found that I love are Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. So I think I'm going to have to pick up some of those. Those are top notch. I like, you know, guac, buffalo chicken dip, just really everything on Super Bowl Sunday. There's no diets today for sure.
You're making me hungry now. I've had the cheesesteak egg rolls and quite the recommendation, I would agree. Bridget Hurley off the inbound play there as Barbara Johnson splitting a pair of free throws. 4 of 11 at the stripe. Won't cut it if you're Seton Hall. We'll see if they can improve on that mark here in the second half. Looking to set a screen there. Little switch action. Seton Hall trying to switch their matchups, at least here. Now it's Maddie Segrist who fires away. She still hasn't hit a 3 today.
She's having an off shooting night. Seton Hall, that was a good defensive possession on her, but now they need to contain Gadeka. That's how they're going to get back into this game.
Top 10 in the Big East in three-point shooting for Maddie Segrist at 41%. She has 6 points today, but she's 0 for 7 from beyond the arc. Alexis Lewis will feed Desiree Elmore, who's short off the front of the rim.
And I think now Maddie Segrist, she could score anywhere on the floor, but today she's settled for threes. I'd like to see her be more aggressive. She's got a little bit of a size advantage over Shadeen Samuels. We've seen her ability to really finish over the top of defenses.
There's Raven James. Her assist to turnover mark has been really sound this year. Bridget Hurley, an all-around game. Lefty off the glass. There's a three-point play opportunity for the senior out of Boston.
And a nice job by Villanova isolating Hurley on the right side of that key, and a little bit of a size advantage there. Bridget Herlihy, Barbara Johnson, a couple inches on her, and a nice finish.
Her game has really picked up. 8 games in double-figure scoring, had 17 points a couple of weeks ago against Georgetown. Her overall game and shot has improved in just the last couple weeks. 3-point play good, as Villanova is 6 of 7 at the line, and they have a 10-point lead over the Pirates. Seton Hall looking for more offense. They are out shooting Villanova, 48%, not bad. Hey, Shadeen Samuels, she's pretty good.
And Shadeen Samuels was able to get open because she was running off a screen across the lane. They switched defenders, and then she had the defender on the top side, was able to seal her for that nice lob pass in.
11 points for Shadeen Samuels, so she's in the double-figure scoring for the 13th time this year. Mary Gadeka gets bumped out of bounds. Desiree Elmore is called for the personal, and that's her 3rd foul. And they'll take out Elmore. You can see she's a little bit frustrated there.
But this is where the depth of Seton Hall pays off, to be able to bring in someone has even more size off the bench, and Alexia Alish has really started to become confident in her abilities on both ends of the floor. So that's a luxury that Tony Bozzella has.
Lauren Park Lane deflects it out of bounds, and Villanova will retain it with 14 left to shoot. Here's Mary Gadeka. She's been the star player today. She tore up Seton Hall earlier this year, especially in the second half. The help was coming. Bridget Herlihy, there's help on her. She goes back to the line.
And they're finding success with Herlihy inside. She's got a mismatch a lot of the time. That time she drew almost 4 Pirate defenders and able to really have some nice footwork down low and draw the foul.
So the free throw gods heard our call, Kim. This is what we've gotten today, finally.
Yeah, people are also saying there's no mid-range game anymore. I don't like that. There's a lot of players who could still really knock down those mid-range jumpers, and we've seen a bunch of them in this game.
I think there is a mid-range game out there. I think it's what we're still hammering home. If the threes aren't falling, try something else, frankly. And that should be the message for the coaches in those huddles. Try another option if you're not on your A game, if it is your three-point shooting, let's say. And I think both teams are trying that, staying diversified, if you will. Villanova succeeding as Bridget Herlihy 3 of 4 at the line for 9 points, and Villanova gets the steal. Fast break, Raven James, Maddie Segrist, run and gun Villanova.
And there is another thing that Maddie Segrist can do. We just talked about her needing to diversify, as you said, but she's been struggling to shoot from 3. She can really run, and that time just able to get out and transition off of the Raven James steal.
Lauren Park Lane throws it up. She gets fouled. They haven't been able to get Maya Jackson open yet. She hasn't even taken a shot. And more free throws coming.
Well, I think Villanova is locked in defensively. They're really keyed in on the top players. Shadeen Samuels has really had to work hard to get open. They're following her wherever she goes. They're communicating on screens.
Lauren Park Lane hits her first free throw. She's 1 of 3 on the afternoon. 3 points and 4 assists. Won Player of the Year in the state of Delaware a season ago. Splits a pair, and Villanova has the board. It's still a 10-point advantage for Villanova. The 67th meeting, Kim, Villanova has dominated, frankly, 44-22 all time when these teams have met.
Seton Hall just hasn't been able to close that gap. It doesn't seem like Villanova is up by that much, really, as Cameron Ocken knocks down a nice 3.
The 5th 3 today, just 5 of 15, but Seton Hall is 0 for 4 from 3. There's an and one. Shadeen Samuels blazes by the Villanova defense to score.
That's a pretty nice offensive set. Just give it to Shadeen Samuels and let her go to work. She's so explosive with that first step, and she continues that explosion into her finish.
Last year, by far and away, obvious choice for Big East Most Improved Player. She increased her scoring big time from her sophomore to her junior year, turned into an all Big East first teamer, led the conference in scoring last year at over 18 points per game.
And she's been on some WNBA mock draft boards. Whether or not, whether or not she's going to choose to go that route, we'll see. But her athleticism and really, I think she still has some raw ability. She could still improve her range a little bit, become a more consistent outside shooter.
There's a zone defense for Seton Hall. They tried this today. Mary Gadeka. Maddie Segrist trying for the rebound. Instead, it's Shadeen Samuels, who's one heck of a rebounder, 5th best in the conference. Maya Jackson finds Shadeen Samuels. Hands it off down low. Alexis Lewis. 3 seconds. And a turnover.
Yeah, that was just, spacing was a little too tight on that one. Right idea by Samuels, but a tough place to catch it for Alexis Lewis. Not much to do there.
A little bit of a hesitant feel to Seton Hall there with the basketball. There's Cam Monken, who hit a big 3. She had 3 triples on Friday night. Nice job. Alexia Alish able to step in front to create the takeaway. Seton Hall knows how to force turnovers inside. No good for Jasmine Smith. Second chance opportunity is alive, however. They find Shadeen Samuels against Maddie Segrist. There's the kick out. The 3 is no good for Alexia Alish. Another rebound thanks to Shadeen Samuels.
Samuels playing some volleyball down there, tapping out these boards.
There's Maya Jackson, her first attempt of the game. And then Alexis Lewis and Sam Karanji get tied up. Who's the foul on? That's the question.
I think they're calling it on
Brooke Mullen, yes.
Brooke Mullen on the box out. She was displacing. Alexis Lewis had her arm wrapped around her.
First personal on Brooke Mullen. Villanova still has a 10-point lead. Tony Bozella looking for an answer. We'll be right back here from Villanova.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah! That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Heavy hearts around the world, especially here in the Philadelphia area where Kobe Bryant grew up, played his high school ball at local Lower Merion High School. And Kim was at the school this week to take a look. And Kim, great job of capturing the footage there. Emblematic of what's going on all around the country to honor Kobe Bryant and all of the victims of that horrific tragedy.
Yeah, just news that really rocked not just the basketball world, but really everyone, just because of how big of a part family was in that. Gigi Bryant was a really promising women's basketball player. Kobe supported the women's game so strongly.
There's Mary Gadeka with a nice steal as Seton Hall telegraphed the pass a little bit into the post, and Gadeka was all over it. As Cam Honkin had a mismatch there having to guard Shadeen Samuels, and Gadeka really helped out. Here's Raven James for Villanova. It's poked away by Maya Jackson. This might get her on the score sheet. Up off the glass and good. Fast break point for the Pirates.
And I've seen Seton Hall make some runs like this. Late in the game, they finally kind of lock in defensively, and just like that is how they like to come back in games. Steals to scores. So we'll see if they can put together a little run here.
Double-figure steals 9 times against a team like Villanova that typically doesn't turn it over a lot. That's a key aspect in a matchup like this. Down low, there's another takeaway. They got their hand into the passing lane, and Seton Hall knows how to cause havoc. They've forced 20 turnovers or more 10 times this year. 3-pointers not falling. Maddie Segrist had it ripped away. Alexis Lewis almost saved it, but they're saying that she stepped out of bounds.
And now Seton Hall's, they're going to have to start knocking down a couple three-heres to close this gap, because you look at the points in the paint, it's pretty even. Seton Hall 26, Villanova 24, but Villanova's knocked down 5 from downtown, and the Pirates 0 of 7. They have to knock down 1 or 2 of these here.
There's Brooke Mullen. Because of depth issues, they're playing her this year as a true freshman. Normally, Harry Beretta redshirts a lot of his players. But out of necessity, not a lot of depth. Lots of kids graduated, moved on, as we said. Adriana Hahn, Janet Tucker, 2 of the notables. Kelly Jaycott. Here's Maddie Segrist. That's short, and she has still not hit a 3 today. 0 for 8 for Maddie Segrist from beyond the arc.
And that's now 3 consecutive stops for Seton Hall. Now they have to score on the other end. That'll work.
Shadeen Samuels muscles her way in and scores. What a move there. Strong and powerful for the Big East preseason player of the year. 16 points for Shadeen Samuels today. Had 11 points against Villanova, but it was Mary Gadeka earlier this year who was the key factor in Villanova's win at the Hall, and more for the Villanova senior. What a play.
That was her first bucket of the second half after putting up 20, so Seton Hall has done a better job guarding her, but when she catches the ball in that mid-paint area, her quickness with the ball and ability, just 1 or 2 strong bounces, is very tough to defend.
Mary Gadeka is close to 1,400 points in her terrific career. She shot up into 10th place on the Villanova all-time scoring list. 3-point play is good. Another 20-point game for Mary Gadeka, the 20th of her fantastic career. A 9-point lead for Villanova. Can Seton Hall convert on those free throws? That's the one disparity in the stats today. Step back, Maya Jackson. 3's not falling. Maddie Segrist has the rebound. 0 for 8 from downtown, Kim, for the Pirates today. There's Sam Karanji, Brooke Mullen, hoists a 3, too strong. Nice box out by Alexia Alish. Villanova getting back. There's Maya Jackson. They go to their superstar, Shadeen Samuels. There's the double team. And they bring it back out. Maya Jackson. Nice move. Desiree Elmore gets the finish.
Like Seton Hall, just to concentrate on their spacing. That time they got it to drop, but they've been a little tight, dribbling into teammates. When someone's dribbling, you want to clear out and relocate. That's how they're going to get some shots, some 3-pointers going.
All Big East preseason team honors for Desiree Elmore. She's in the double figures for the 18th time this year. She had 21 points against Georgetown, 20 points against Princeton earlier this season. 15 left to shoot for Villanova. They made just 5 threes today. Here's Cam Onken. She has one of them. Make it 2 threes for Cam Onken out of Indiana. She has 6 points today, and a befuddled look for Tony Bozella.
How about Cameron Onken? She only shoots 18% from 3 on the season heading into today, and she's knocked down 2 of them.
She started to find her shot a little bit better, and Seton Hall gives it away. Offensive foul Alexia Alesh might be another moving screen, push off away from the ball. And an unfortunate turnover if you're Seton Hall.
Yeah, Alexia Alesh, I was noticing a couple actually they didn't call, but she's really extending out her arms as the defender is running by. You have to stay still.
More zone defense for Seton Hall. There's a three for Maddie Segrist. That's her first of the game. She's into double figures with 11. How about Desiree Elmore, a 5-star recruit out of high school, big-time athletic ability there.
Yeah, nice ability to use that hop step, split the defense. They need a little bit more of that, and they need some of these threes to start falling.
A move like that shows you why Desiree Elmore was one of the best recruits out of high school in the entire country. Here's Mary Gadeka. There's the help. Excellent defense here by Seton Hall. Final minute of the third quarter. Only 4 left to shoot. A skip pass to Maddie Segrist, who gets it denied, throws it up, and misses. What a block there. We're seeing really good athletic ability today.
Right, that was a better job by Seton Hall at having quicker recoveries. And even though Maddie Segrist hasn't hit at a high rate from 3 today, you can't help off of her too much when she's on that opposite side. That time Elmore able to really get out and obviously block the shot.
Only 5 seconds left. Shadeen Samuels gets the kick out. There's a shot that is good right at the horn for Jasmine Smith as the junior out of Texas. It's a big bucket there. Her first points of the game to end the third quarter. It's a 55-46 lead for Villanova. Can that get Seton Hall back into things, Kim?
Yeah, that'll be some good momentum for them heading into this fourth quarter, but Tony Bazzella's team, they have to do it on the defensive end. Desiree Elmore, like to see some of those teammates start hitting from 3. 9-point game here at Villanova.
You're watching Seton Hall basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Now.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Seton Hall has engineered fourth quarter comebacks over the last few meetings against Villanova. Let's see if they can put together quite a finish. Once again, fans, the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep returns to Wintrust Arena in downtown Chicago, March 6th to the 9th. All session tickets for the 2020 conference tournament are now on sale. Just $50 for tickets. Visit bigeast.com/WBB tickets. Deep dish pizza, Kim, or thin crust? What's your favorite?
I've had it a fair amount. I'm not a huge fan. There's a lot of sauce. I don't like a lot of sauce on my pizza, and there's just like a huge layer of sauce at the top of deep dish pizza, so I much prefer New York pizza where I'm from.
Smoking like a true New Yorker. You took the words right out of my mouth on that one. I could go for either one. Here's Alexis Lewis, who cashes in. 6 points today. That's her third bucket. Big-time player, 3 years at Iona, scored over 1,200 points in 3 years. What a career she had there. Over 600 rebounds in 3 seasons. Mary Gadeka gets fouled again.
Mary Gadeka able to find a gap in that zone because the lower person in that zone has to be so far out on Segrist in the corner. So good job of recognizing where those openings are, and we've seen her be incredibly effective driving and getting to the free throw line, I'm sorry.
Alexis Lewis is up to 1,497 points. That's 38th amongst active Division I women's players. So she's very close to a big-time plateau of 1,500 points. Mary Gadeka has had a great career, as we've chronicled, as she's nearing 1,400 points. As she misses the second one, splits a pair. Villanova is 9 of 12 at the stripe. Seton Hall is just 6 of 14 at the foul line today. And Villanova leads it by 8. Alexis Lewis trying to get up the ladder on that scoring list. Maybe she heard us. And here's Sam Karanji. She's dealt with some injuries this year. She's missed a lot of time. Seton Hall playing a zone. Look at the ball work by Villanova. Quick passing, but an air ball by Bridget Herlihy. And the Pirates will get it back. A lot of Shadeen Samuel, 16 points today. Desiree Elmore, 12 points. We'll see. Will Seton Hall try to get to the line, Kim, or will they try to start shooting threes?
Well, they haven't had the balance today. When this team is playing well, and there's another 3-0 of 9. When this team is playing well, they have a good balance of inside and outside scoring. And today they've only had the inside scoring, and they haven't really had a third score. And we mentioned it at the top. This is a team that has 5 double-digit scores on the season, and we haven't seen a third or fourth scorer emerge today.
Villanova has done a very good job in terms of defending the three-point line. Number 1 three-point defense in the conference and amongst the best in the nation. But there's a giveaway. Nice steal as the Pirates take it away. After that miss by Alexis Lewis the last time, let's see if they can counter on this opportunity. There's Desiree Elmore. There's the help, Mary Gadeka. Excellent spacing defensively by Villanova. That's why they're one of the top teams in the country in field goal defense. Nice job by Maddie Segrist to knock it away or affect the shot. No foul is called, and Villanova has it. Excellent defense by Villanova that time, Kim.
Yeah, we're really seeing them collapse anytime the ball goes inside, and that's something Seton Hall hasn't done, is kick out of double and triple teams for threes.
53rd in the country for Villanova in field goal defense this year. One of the best marks in the conference, second best in fact, and Sam Karanji hit the deck. Either she got pushed or she lost her balance, and she's in some pain. As the trainer, Sean Keane, is over there to check on her. She's dealt with some back issues this season, and she seems shaken up.
Yeah, she went down hard and immediately was grabbing onto her teammates, seemingly in a ton of pain.
Not easy when you deal with injuries. Shadeen Samuels missed time earlier this year. Brianna Herlihy's been out all year pretty much for Villanova. Sam Karanji has missed a lot of time, as we just talked about, in fact, as we're taking a look at her. As we'll get another look at it here.
Oof.
And she just slipped.
Ouch. Yeah, her right ankle just completely gave out on her there.
There's Brianna Herlihy on the right-hand side, the sister of Bridget Herlihy. She's been out most of the years, we just said. That's why Harry Pirana has had to play walk-ons this year. And somehow they're still finding a way to win. That's what's made this season unbelievable. 12-9. They started 0-3. They're 12-6 since then.
Right, it's really been impressive. I had their first conference game against Providence, and Coach Pareto wasn't really sure what he was going to get. And I think a lot of people have been surprised with the teams they've beaten. They swept that road weekend at Seton Hall and St. John's, which was surprising to me.
There's Alexis Lewis, 1,499 points, so close. One more, and she'll hit a big-time mark in her fabulous career. Most importantly, Seton Hall climbs within 6, Kim.
And they seem to do this anytime they're down. They start creeping back in at the end of those games.
I've seen this movie before. Maddie Segrist, that's an air ball, might have hit the rim. And suddenly, lots of momentum. You feel it. Seton Hall's right back in it. Villanova built a nice lead in the fourth quarter earlier this year against Seton Hall. The Pirates came right back, got within one. Three-point play opportunity. Shadeen Samuels converts.
Shadeen Samuels going up against two players there, drawing the contact, finishing the bucket. The senior looking to will her team back into this one.
18 points for Shadeen Samuels on 8 of 10 shooting as Seton Hall gets within 4. She'll be at the line when we come back. The Pirates right back in it.
You're watching Seton Hall basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts, solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Mary Gadeka with her 9th 20-point ball game of the year. She has 24 points, a game high. Shadeen Samuels is nearing 20 points. We talked about this a bit earlier. On Friday night, there were 6 20-point performances by Big East players. Olivia Alger led the way, 28 points in that big Creighton win to give DePaul their first conference loss of the season. And 9 times this year, Kim, players have gone for 30 points or more. Maddie Segrist, of course, the top of the heap, 41 points. Only the 3rd time a Villanova player has put up 40 points or more in a game.
Yeah, a lot of individual talent, a lot of teams starting to come together at the right time. That Creighton win was still shocking. To be down 20 at the half without Jalen Agnew, I mean,
DePaul only hit 4 threes in that game. That was the storyline. The Blue Demons couldn't hit a perimeter shot, it seemed, that entire game.
We're having that same story here for Seton Hall, who despite 0 of 9 shooting from 3 is within 2 possessions.
Just 6 of 14 as a team at the line today. 3-point play complete for Shadeen Samuels. She's canned 3 of her 4 free throws, playing with 3 personals. She's up to 19 points, and we have a 3-point ball game.
The Pirates sticking with this 2-3 zone, really spreading out that back line, getting out on shooters.
Raven James and Mary Gadeka. 11 left to shoot for Villanova.
Villanova's doing exactly what Seton Hall wants them to do. They're just passing around the perimeter. You have to attack it.
There's the skip pass, and Raven James walks with it.
Harry Peretta not happy with his team on that one. We talked about how spread out that zone is. There's so much open space in the middle of the paint, and Villanova just had 5 people on the perimeter passing it around.
12th turnover for Villanova. Seton Hall has 11. A lot of the stats are pretty even. Free throw shooting has been a problem for Seton Hall, and the obvious one, the Pirates have yet to hit a 3-pointer. Shadeen Samuels off the window. 21 points today.
She just has that killer instinct, that scores mentality. She knows her team needs her right now, and she just continues to attack.
It's a 7-0 Seton Hall run. They get within one, and Villanova throws it away. All the momentum is with the Pirates. They've outscored Villanova 9-1 to start the fourth quarter. 3 turnovers over the last 3 minutes for Villanova as they're crumbling. A bit of a younger team for Harry Peretta, and an athletic, talented team like Seton Hall creeping back into the game. Here's Alexis Lewis. Little trade-off with Jasmine Smith. I think I'd give it to this young lady. Shadeen Samuels powers her way to the goal, and she'll go to the line with a chance to give Seton Hall the lead.
It's incredible that she continues to be effective because they're collapsing on her. 3-4 white jerseys around her every single time, but she's just so strong, able to draw those fouls. They have to contain that first step and not let her get by her primary defender to begin with.
Seton Hall hasn't led since early in the first quarter. In the opening minutes, a big miss there for Shadeen Samuels, who's 3 of 5 at the stripe, under 50% shooting at the foul line today for the Pirates. Big one here, she misses both. Offensive rebound, Alexia Alish gives Seton Hall the lead.
Wow, Seton Hall bench is loving it right now with the pink shoes. They are hype.
Big bucket there for the UMass transfer. 4 points on 2 of 3 shooting. First lead for the Pirates since early on in the ball game. Raven James airballs a 3, and the Pirates will get it back. And we get a timeout. Big momentum, a 9-0 spurt by the visitors as they're looking to win at Villanova for the first time since 2015-2016. A big miss there by Samuels at the stripe, but Alexia Alish able to carom it off the window. The Pirates lead it by 1.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East Way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
2014, 2015, and then the season after, 2015, 2016. Those were the 2 standout seasons for Seton Hall under Tony Bozell. And frankly, when he first got there, back-to-back NCAA tournament seasons, Dee Simmons, Deja Simmons, and Tabitha Richardson-Smith, their all-time leading scorer. And in fact, Kim, Tabitha Richardson-Smith set the Seton Hall scoring record in the win at Villanova back in 2015-2016 in this very building. She had 27 points in that game. That was the last time Seton Hall won at Villanova, so quite a while ago.
Long time coming, but somehow they have got back in, as we were talking over the break. It seems Seton Hall does this all the time. They just claw their way back into games late in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, and it always starts on the defensive end for them. That zone has really been effective in this second half.
Even though Villanova has shot the three-pointer very well as of late, just 7 of 25 today. Not easy when you have to replace Adriana Hunt, their all-time threes leader, and a player like Janet Tucker. Is it knocked away? Maddie Segrist has it, and a foul is called. So Seton Hall had a chance to add to their lead, and a foul after they fumble it away.
And that's what Villanova's done on her every time. Just collapsing on her that time, not getting the steal, and then unfortunate mistake to foul right after.
And that's 4 fouls on Shadeen Samuels. 4:32 left. Desiree Elmore, 3 fouls. Bridget Herlihy has 3 as the zone defense continues for Tony Bozella. That's Maddie Segrist, too strong off the iron. And a foul called. Alexia Alesh grabbing Mary Gadeka.
Two consecutive possessions now, just silly fouls for Seton Hall that you can't afford to have in this game. A huge one on Samuels for her 4th, and now giving Villanova a second opportunity.
3rd foul on Alexia Alesh. That's 3 team fouls on Seton Hall here in the 4th quarter. 2 on Villanova. Once you get to 5, it's double bonus. There's Kenzie Gardler. That's a 3 for the rookie.
That is impressive. I don't think she had been in the second half, and just to come off the bench after sitting all that time and knock one down, that's not easy.
Villanova recaptures the lead, 59-57, and Shadeen Samuels draws the foul. That's 4 fouls on Bridget Herlihy. So a key senior forward has 4 fouls for each team, Shadeen Samuels and Bridget Herlihy. Maya Jackson finds Alexis Lewis. There's the first 3 of the game for the Seton Hall Pirates. And they're back on top. Back and forth we go here at Finneran Pavilion.
You had to know it was coming.
You called it in our last time out, Kim. You said the first 3 for Seton Hall is coming.
And you knew it was going to be a big moment. And that certainly was a big moment to finally get it to drop after 9 misses.
And Alexis Lewis goes over 1,500 points in her great career as Kenzie Gardler tried another 3, missed out. Villanova, shot clock resets to 20 in the new rule in women's college basketball this year on an offensive rebound. And a traveling call. Kenzie Gardler walks with it.
Coach Peretta can't believe it over there. Those were some quick feet he had. Whatever that little dance down the bench was, his players are laughing.
Seton Hall has hit 5 of their last 5. Final season for Harry Peretta, 42nd year. 4 turnovers for Villanova over the last 6 minutes. A 14-4 edge in scoring here in the 4th quarter. Alexis Lewis just misses. Boy, that was close, Kim.
I thought for sure that was going down.
11 points for Alexis Lewis. A 1-point lead for Seton Hall. 2:26 left. Villanova had a tight game against St. John's on Friday night. Cam Monken was a hero in that one and misses from the corner. And Shadeen Samuels able to race it down court as the Pirates have the ball. And a 1-point lead. 3 timeouts left for Tony Bozella. Harry Peretta has 2 remaining. Villanova got a stop against St. John's Friday night, and Maddie Segrist tied the game with just seconds remaining, and then Villanova won in overtime again against the Red Storm. Bridget Herlihy, Shadeen Samuels, each with 4 fouls collide. Who's the foul on? Who was fouled out, Kim? It's Bridget Herlihy who gets called for her 5th foul. Boy, that was a big-time decision by Kathy Lynch and the officials for today. I think you could have called it either way.
Oof. Yeah,
what say you?
That's a tough one. I thought Bridget Herlihy had good position there. Shadeen Samuels dropped that shoulder a little bit. Shadeen Samuels getting a little predictable now. She needs to kind of read the defense, maybe pass and then repost or relocate, because right now they've really just been going to her and spacing is getting a little tight.
That is a key play in the ball game. I've talked a lot through the years on block charges. They're 50-50 calls, frankly, Kim. You flip a coin. I don't always think there's a right or a wrong, frankly. I don't know what you call sometimes there.
Yeah, I think that was a 50-50, and Shadid Samuels got lucky because she really should have gone to the left, and that's why she's gotten a little predictable. Herlihy just completely took away her right side, got in position, which is why I think it could have been called offensive because she did get set up and was there.
Shadid Samuels with her third 20-point game of the year, 15 in her career. As last year she had a couple of monster 30-point games, a 33-point game against St. John's, and frankly did pretty well against Villanova at 27 points here at Villanova last year. Although Villanova has won 7 straight against the Pirates, Shadid Samuels again misses. No foul is called. It goes out of bounds off of Villanova, and the Pirates will retain it. What's the shot clock going to say, Kim?
Let's see if it...
Did she hit the rim?
If it hit that rim, we'll see. Maybe we could get another...
It's under 2 minutes, so the officials can go to the clock to look at possession and clock issues. And we'll get another look at it as well.
Ooh. It hit that bottom part of the rim, but I don't think that's considered part of the rim. I don't think it should reset.
So right now it says 20 seconds left. They didn't call a foul. It hit the end of the backboard at the bottom of the orange part there. Does that count as the rim?
To be honest, I have never seen this happen before.
Only the best here on the Big East Digital Network. Thanks to our great crew for looking at all the close angles. Kim Adams, I'm Nick Montagna. We have a close one. Under 2 minutes left. Again, that's when you can look at the monitor. Fans having a good time.
Yeah, nice crowd on hand today. A lot of kids out.
Villanova led by 8 in the fourth quarter at Seton Hall earlier this year, but Seton Hall got within 1, and Raven James hit a big three-pointer with just over a minute left to ice the ball game. Right now, this game is up for grabs. Who's going to make a free throw? Who makes a big shot? You know you have big-time players on the court, Shadid Samuels, Mary Gadeka, and Maddie Segrist. Give it to your star player.
Yeah, Villanova has not looked as comfortable offensively. They've been really impacted by this Seton Hall zone, and they need to make sure they're attacking. And they're going to leave the shot clock at 15, no reset. So we now know that bottom structure that mounts the rim is not the rim.
They just gave us word. The official's coming over. Alexis Lewis fires away, misses short. And Villanova has the rebound. 1:42 left as the Pirates come up empty. And Villanova can go ahead with a bucket here. Tony Bozzella continues to employ a zone defense. Maddie Segrist in the corner. Inside, Mary Gadeka gets fouled. She shuffled a little bit and gets bailed out on the call.
Seton Hall lucky that wasn't on Samuels. Samuels almost reached in, but they called on Alexia Alish. But finally, Villanova gets inside the teeth of that zone instead of just passing it around the perimeter.
That's 4 fouls on Alexia Alish. And we will see Mary Gadeka return to the line where she has done quite well today. 7 of 9 and 10 of 13 for Nova as a team, over 75%. It's been a struggle for them. This has not been a strength of theirs this year. Much better today. Mary Gadeka makes both. And Villanova back on top, 61-60, under 90 seconds left on 26 points for Mary Gadeka. Here's Desiree Elmore, spin move, just misses. The rebound tipped out, and Seton Hall gets the reset of 20 on the shot clock.
And again, the spacing was too tight. Elmore spun right into Samuels. Samuels has to clear out on that.
New rule coming into effect in women's basketball for this season. Quicker offense on that second chance opportunity. Only 4 left to shoot. The kick out. Maya Jackson, no good. And Maddie Segrist gets the rebound, and she's fouled. That'll be the 5th team foul on Seton Hall. So it could be 2 free throws here, Kim.
Yep, it will be 2 free throws, and again, just a couple silly fouls in this fourth quarter for Seton Hall. That's the 2nd foul off of a rebound 90 feet away from the Villanova basket. And now they just walk up to the free throw line.
After a big run, Seton Hall has gone cold over the last 3 minutes. Maddie Segrist gets the roll. 11 points and 10 rebounds. As Segrist has her Big East leading 9th double-double of the season. At the stripe this year, 73%, which is one of the best on the team. She makes both, and Villanova establishes a 3-point lead with under a minute left, and Seton Hall calls time out, and they can advance the ball, Kim, correct?
Right, yeah, they will be able to have it at that 28-foot mark, set up a sideline out of bounds play. You don't need a 3 at this point. There's plenty of time. I would give it to either Elmore or Samuels, let them attack, but we've seen spacing be an issue. So who's ever attacking, the other 4 players need to clear out, especially, and be ready for a kick out, because we've seen Villanova really be adamant about sending 3 or 4 people on a drive.
I would assume Harry Peretta would tell his team to pack the paint to a degree.
I mean, yeah, if a team's shooting 1 of 12 from 3, I would, I'll let him shoot that shot. I'll prove to me that you can make that shot, but I think we'll see Seton Hall either go Elmore or Samuels attack here, and we're gonna see Villanova really collapse on the drive like they've done all game.
8 threes today for Villanova, while Seton Hall is just 1 of 12 from downtown. Shadeen Samuels races past Segrist, and she's fouled. Shadeen Samuels will go back to the line.
And that was a nice set. There's the spacing, right? No one's in the same zip code as Shadeen Samuels. Finally, the other 4 players stayed out on the 3-point line, and Samuels had a ton of room to make that move, a really strong jab step to set up that drive.
She makes the first. Shadeen Samuels, 4 of 7 at the line today. That gives her 22 points. Only 8 of 18 at the stripe today for the visitors. A big free throw here. This could get them within 1, and it does. Shadeen Samuels cans 2 big free throws, and I think Villanova will call timeout, and they'll advance the basketball, which you can do with under a minute left in the 4th quarter. I frankly love this rule change, Kim. It's been around now at least 3-4 years or so, maybe 5, and I think it's gone over very well, frankly.
Yeah, I enjoy it as well, and they don't have that rule in the men's side yet, so I kind of, when I'm watching the men's game, I kind of get annoyed that they can advance the ball. They do in the NBA, so there's no level of consistency there, but I think it's a great rule. I think the women's game is better. I like the quarters better, to be honest, than the halves that the men still play. But here, back to the game here. I think they're going to give it to either Gadeka or Segrist. Kind of same. I would do almost the same exact thing that Seton Hall just did on the other end. Clear everybody out. I would give it to Gadeka here. Just her ability to drive and finish, and she's been so consistent today. I would clear it out for her.
Mary Gadeka had a career-high 27 points in the win at Fordham earlier this year. That kind of got Villanova going after an 0-3 start, and that was a breakout game for Maddie Segrist as well. She had 29 points in that win at Fordham. Gadeka on 26, and they give it to her here, maybe a couple of free throws. She could set a new career high potentially, although Maddie Segrist and Raven James are their top 2 free throw shooters, so I would assume that Villanova would put it in their hands. Seton Hall will play defense, and they can obviously down a point with 38 seconds left.
And Villanova wants to use as much clock. I wouldn't really go here until at least 10 seconds or less on that clock.
13-second differential or so. 25 seconds left. Villanova has a 1-point lead. Here's Cam Hawken. That's short. And Seton Hall has the basketball, 16 seconds left, down by 1, and they will call timeout. That's the last one for Tony Bozella. He'll draw something up and look for a game winner.
Well, I didn't think that was a good look at all for Villanova. When you have 2 of the top scorers in the conference didn't even get really a look at scoring, and Cameron Onken took the 3, and yes, she's knocked down a couple today, but she's shooting 18% on the season coming into today. You got to get that ball to either Mary or Maddie and let them make a play.
Another close game between Villanova and Seton Hall, as the Wildcats won by just 6. Frankly, that game was decided by about a point in the last minute, and ditto here again today. So they played a number of close games, 5 points here, 6 points there. It seems to be rather close most years when these teams play. And we have another edition of it today. The Wildcats have won 7 straight and 13 of 17. Stay tuned after the game. We'll have a post-game interview with one of the players or coaches from the winning side. Which side shall it be? I think we'll find out in a couple seconds.
We will, and Seton Hall, I'd pretty much do the same thing. Samuels just has that first step that can blow by anybody, but she needs to be expecting a help defender to come right away. So she needs to make sure she doesn't get an offensive foul, be ready to jump stop and kick it out if she needs.
The officials have blown the whistle today, so if you drive in, you might get a free throw trip. Desiree Elmore, just 7 seconds left. Maya Jackson, Brooke Mullen denied her. No foul is called. Oh, yep, now they call a foul. Kathy Lynch raises her arm.
Wow, that's interesting. The official under the basket didn't have a whistle. The official at half court came in, which I thought it looked like a clear foul to me. There was a ton of contact.
It looked like she got a piece of the ball. There might have been some contact. I agree with you, Kim. So I don't think this is a bad call by any means. Maya Jackson can tie the game with 4 seconds left, and she does. The freshman out of Ohio put on a show in front of hometown friends and family in that win over Xavier when she had a big-time performance. This one is for the lead. No, it's short. Cam Otkin had it. Shadeen Samuels gives Seton Hall the lead with 2 seconds left. And Villanova has a timeout left, and they can advance the basketball, but the Pirates have the advantage. Shadeen Samuels to the rescue.
Oh my goodness, that was a bad-looking free throw here. It almost didn't even hit the rim. Ball's batted around, and who finds it? Shadeen Samuels. She's been doing that all night. Nobody boxes her out. Wow. Big-time play by the senior, preseason player of the year.
A season-high 25 points for Shadeen Samuels on 10 of 13 shooting. A huge stick back to give the Pirates a 2-point edge with only 2 seconds left, as the Pirates might escape Villanova with their first win here in this building in basically 5 years.
And now Villanova, they'll inbound at half court again, but you don't have a lot of time. Maybe a time for one dribble, so I would try to get maybe Gadeka coming off of some sort of back screen, and then a kind of a decoy being ready if she's not open. They have Segrist inbounding it, which is interesting here. Maybe a quick tap back to her.
Only 2 seconds left. Mary Gadeka, Maddie Segrist, short. Seton Hall wins the ball game. The Pirates win at Villanova for the first time since 2015-2016. The final, Seton Hall 65, Villanova 63. A 19-8 fourth quarter spoils what was a good performance by Villanova. We'll have our post-game interviews when we come back. Seton Hall survives.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt. We don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
And welcome back to Finner and Pavilion as Seton Hall puts together a monster comeback to beat Villanova 65-63. Kim Adams, Nick Montagna courtside. We're joined by Seton Samuels, who was the hero today. Seton, congrats on the win. Boy, what a crazy finish. What was going through your mind there in those final seconds off that rebound, the putback? That was quite incredible.
I just knew that in the end, they're going to do everything they can to, get the loose balls and get everything so they can get possession of the ball. So I was just there, just making sure I could get any tips or anything, and it just came right to me, and I got the layup.
Right place at the right time is always good. It seems like we've seen your team do this time and time again, make those late third quarter, fourth quarter comebacks. What is it about your team and the mentality you guys have that allows you to make these runs late in games?
We just know that we're capable of playing at a fast pace the whole game. So, we came out to a rough start, and at halftime we just talked to each other, said, we got to come out and play harder and faster. And I think we did a lot of that in the second half.
Seton, the offense was there all day, but the offense really seemed to gel in the fourth quarter. What clicked for you guys? Because that's when you really started to get it going late in the ball game.
We just started sharing the ball a lot more in the second half. I think in the first half, we were taking shots that we thought were open when maybe someone else was even more open. So in the second half, we just tried to get the ball inside and get it to the open player, and shots started to fall.
And it was a takeover mode for you, 25 tonight. And what we were saying on the broadcast is every bucket you got was tough. They're sending 3-4 people at you, but you continued to find success. What about your game allows you to continue to thrive even when you're the focus of the defense a lot of the time?
It's funny because our coaches always talk about being soft, and I can't be soft. So I know no matter who's guarding me, I just have to make a move and make it strong. And if I do that, then, hopefully I'll get a foul and also get the bucket. But if not, I just have to keep attacking. And if they keep sinking in on me, then I'll find my teammate who's open.
Seton, first win at Villanova in nearly 5 years. How satisfying is this?
It feels good. We worked really hard for this, and it just feels good to come out with the win, even though we didn't start off as strong as we wanted to.
A big win today for Seton Hall. Seton, thanks for your time. Congrats on the victory. Thanks for joining us. What a comeback, a fourth quarter story, 19-8 in scoring for the Pirates. Highlight performances today. The stars were shining. Mary Gadeka had 26 to lead Villanova. Seton Samuels had 25 points to lead the Pirates, and the all-important putback with just seconds remaining, and Seton Hall beats Villanova 65-63, their first win at Villanova in nearly 5 years. For our great crew and Kim Adams, I'm Nick Montagna. Thanks for joining us on the Big East Digital Network. We'll see you next time, everyone. Have a great day.